participate in your conscious revolution. November 6, 2014. Aligning with the divine as much and as often as possible will help you find a calm and centered frame of mind when you could otherwise descend into anger or myriad other negative qualities that drag on your sense of well-being and make it harder to find the centered state of consciousness many of you desire. The next time you're presented with an opportunity to fall into anger, take note of how it makes you feel. How does descending into negativity affect your sense of spirituality and self-worth? How does it affect your ability to reason with a clear head and heart? It's important to ask yourselves these questions, and when you do, you'll very likely find that anger never helps resolve a situation because it is, by its very nature, chaotic and destructive. Most of humanity is still unaware of spirit, the light, and the importance of using discipline to refrain from feeding the lower qualities that hold you back forever if you let them. And we want you to know that an infinite universe of love awaits your perception, a universe you can now pull to yourselves if you make a true and solid effort. The divine qualities are important. You can perceive and pull to yourselves the vibrations of spirit, and when you do, many of you will see just how far back anger and the lower qualities that come with it can put you. You'll see, for what'll seem like the first time, that the qualities that are leading you back into the higher realms are far more worth your time and energy, and we can envision many of you happily embracing love and ceasing the conflicts that have occupied your attention so much in the past. The divine qualities are very important for humanity to express, and when you do express them, you'll drastically uplift your collective vibration and make it easier for waves of others to find the pure and lively state of consciousness so many of you have been able to find. Love, joy, and livelihood are your sacred rights, so we encourage you to get out there and claim them, instead of continuously feeding the lower qualities that hold you back more than many of you realize. An aspect of your mission on the earth is to use your creativity to uplift yourselves and everyone around you who's been lost in the darkness of the lower vibrations for millennia. But another important aspect of your earthly presence is to truly be the examples of positive change and progress. Even though it can be difficult, you're on the earth to express the greatest level of self-mastery possible, and when you can attain this mastery, nothing will drag on your well-being or your sense of spirituality. No drama or conflict will capture your attention to the extent that you can't feel and express the pure love you've come to earth to share with all of humanity. No setback will keep you from doing the things you're on the earth to do, and we look forward to the time when all of humanity can express such a strong and pure level of mastery. The conscious community is starting to grasp and understand the importance of true mastery, but we note that many of you also tend to lose yourselves in conflict. When an opportunity to be angry or upset is presented to you, we highly recommend you remember the importance of remaining centered. Even though balance and mastery require time, effort, and patience to obtain, we'll say that you can start being masters today and never look back. If you wanted to, you could find and anchor the mastery so many of you seek in an instant. It really can be this simple, and the only difficulty lies in truly expressing this mastery instead of simply advocating it or acting as if you're ready to embrace it until a conflict reaches you. You're meant to experience conflict and difficulty on the earth, because it's all meant to test your growing mastery, your growing ability to refrain from feeding lower emotions or qualities when you're presented with an opportunity to do so. Every negative thing you experience has been pre-planned by your higher self and guides to test your ability to remain in a calm and loving center, so the next time you face an opportunity to descend anger or any other lower qualities, keep in mind that you're being tested. You're being trained to remain in your center no matter what situations or circumstances you face, and in every moment, you have an opportunity to practice. You can constantly practice your budding ability to express the mastery you're beginning to discover, and with the aforementioned patience and willingness not to protrude from your center for any reason, you'll find the mastery you seek, and you'll easily express it to those around you who've been lost in the strife and drama of the lower vibrations for so long that they don't know what true mastery looks or feels like. Allow yourselves to be the tried and true examples of mastery, for by doing this, You'll drastically uplift the collective vibration, and make it far easier for others to embrace and express a similar level of mastery when the time comes for all of humanity to be awake and aware of spirit and the necessity to live in love and embrace harmony. Unity starts with you. Harmony and unity between nations is inevitable, but it'll have to start with the harmony and unity you can each express to those around you. If you want all of humanity to be free and unified, you have to feel free and unified with those around you, even those who you could fight with all day if you let yourselves. Individual unity is very important, because it'll set the stage for the collective unity so much of the conscious public has strived so hard to see. While we know that many of you have strived very hard to manifest unity on the world stage, we'll repeat our recommendation to observe yourselves throughout your daily existence, and take note when you clearly aren't living up to the goals, ideals, or expectations you've set for yourselves and for humanity. You can't expect the rest of the world to be real and lasting examples of unitive change, if you can't be, and will forever repeat the importance being the example of divinely inspired change for the rest of your planet to take note of, and eventually mirror. We say mirror, but all of humanity will express the joy and unity they'll eventually find in unique and individual ways. Even though you'll be unified, no two individuals will be alike. You'll all express differences in opinion, belief and ideology, but the difference will be that you no longer feel the need to fight each other over your differences. You'll finally and justly accept each other for your differences, and no matter what your differences are, ideology, skin color, sexual preference, none of it will matter, because humanity will be far more concerned with unity and oneness than strife and division. We envision a world where nobody goes without the essential commodities you all need to survive, and everyone's able to get a leg up in your otherwise difficult world. All of humanity works together to solve the immense problems your planet faces, and nobody's left without the essential, loving support that helps each soul thrive. Humanity will support each other like never before, and the conscious community will have long stepped up to be the examples of inner and outer change. As long as you all stay diligent and committed to your respective missions, the rest of humanity will eventually live by the pure and potent example you set in your short time on Earth. Decades and centuries down the line, people will remember the divinely inspired things you were able to do, and they'll live by the examples each of you set. We note that many of you have been waiting to see divinely inspired change manifest in your day and age, as opposed to in the future, and we recommend with love that you cease waiting. Instead of waiting around for something that many of you are worried just won't happen, begin to participate in your conscious revolution. Constantly ask yourselves what you can do to contribute to your growing revolution, and don't let one moment go by that you don't use for something positive, lighted and progressive. You can use every moment of every day to contribute something pure and potent to your conscious revolution, and all it takes is the willingness and motivation to do so. When you can recognize that you're each intended to contribute to your evolution in whatever ways work best for you, your motivation and enthusiasm to contribute could skyrocket, and you could quickly begin enjoying your lives far more than you did when you waited around for certain manifestations to appear that would confirm the validity of the things you've begun to learn and discover. You answered Gaia's call. It also helps to keep in mind that you have the love and support of an unlimited number of higher dimensional souls who are very fixed on your evolving planet. The plan for dearest Gaia's ascension entails a fixation on the part of various evolved civilizations, who answered her call for assistance when she was mired in destructive lower vibrations, to the extent that her planetary body could have been destroyed. You each answered this plea for assistance, and various higher dimensional souls are fixed on your little blue world and doing everything we can to help Gaia and her people ascend as you're rightly intended to. Your ascension has been planned and prophesized for ages of your time, but it was sped up in the last couple centuries because of the aforementioned destruction. You all answered Gaia's call to incarnate on her surface and help her out of the destructive lower vibrations she was trapped in, and thanks to your diligent efforts, the majority of her consciousness now resides in a much higher sphere than it did even a short time ago. She patiently waits for her surface life to catch up, and humanity and the plant, animal, insect kingdoms are all experiencing your sacred and prophesized ascension. You're raising your vibration day by day, and the same can be said for every other conscious life form on your planet. Everything is consciousness, even the chairs many of you are sitting in as you read this message, and it's important to keep this in mind when thinking about your earthly ascension. Everything around you is ascending into a new octave of consciousness, and humans aren't the only ones experiencing your pre-planned, coordinated ascension by far. The very energy that sits within your homes will ascend with you, and while you won't be taking your material belongings with you into the higher realms, the energy imbued into them will absolutely ascend with you. In fact, it already is. The plants, animals, insects, and everything else that has and is consciousness will ascend with the awakened humanity, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with encouragement to see that sentience permeates everything. Even though humanity's been fixed on the idea of inanimate objects that possess no consciousness whatsoever, everything around you is consciousness on one level or another. Some conscious beings, like animals, possess more consciousness and self-awareness than others, but given that everything around you is ascending in this potent time, the dull consciousness imbued into inanimate objects will soon be as animated as the human and animal kingdoms. It goes without saying that your earthly ascension will only be the beginning, and from the higher realms, we can envision many of you delightfully helping various lower vibrational planets and civilizations ascend in an effort to kickstart the universal ascension that's destined to take place. For now, continue on with your diligent earthly missions, and know that you're never left alone to deal with the pain and hardship that come with existing on your planet, especially when you feel more alone than ever. In most cases, when you feel your loneliest is when you're given the most attention and assistance from your higher selves, your guides, departed family, and various other higher dimensional souls. You simply have to open up and realize it as you graciously accept our presence and invite us all to assist you with the things that trouble you. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com